Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of In the Box Seat. Good show coming up.
We are joined by one of the most prominent owners, I think, in Australia. Peter Tighe is here to talk about his runners for the TAB Hollindale Stakes Day.
Yeah, live chance too with Birdman, plus interesting chat about a 2-year-old, plus a number of other things. So looking forward to catching up with Peter. That's all coming up in today's show. As we mentioned at the top of the show, special guest Peter Tighe joining us from the Directors' Lounge here at the Gold Coast Turf Club. Welcome to the show, Pete.
Thanks a lot, Mitch.
You know this room very well. You've had plenty of winners here in your time, and you do frequent the Directors' Lounge here at the Gold Coast Turf Club.
No, it's the best place you can go to celebrate anywhere.
Well, we love to have you. So, Pete, for those who don't know, let's take it back to the top. Obviously, you're a very prominent horse owner. A lot of people will know your names, but for those who don't, what got you into horse ownership? What made you become, start off, what you said 25 years ago, and what got you into it?
Just had a great interest in racing from early days, school days. My father was an avid punter. We owned greyhounds, trotters, and then eventually got a share in a thoroughbred, my wife and I, and it was a bit successful to a degree, and it just snowballed from there. We bought, I think we started buying horses about 1998, 2000, had a bit of luck, and I think we had horses for 20 years before we actually won a Group 1. So we had a good grounding, enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, the good old days of going to the track and running a place, or just going there to have lunch was great. So it's certainly graduated a lot since then, but we still enjoy it just as much.
More importantly, we're here to discuss Birdman and his chances in the TAB AD Hollindale Stakes come Saturday week. Of course, he's been freshened up since he's running the Australian Cup.
Yeah, he's been a work in progress since he was purchased. I think everyone knows he was purchased by Aussie Kerr.
Yep.
He's put together a group of owners, and we bought him to win the Melbourne Cup actually the first year, and didn't go to plan. So he's been tried over different distances, and we're sort of trying to work out whether he's a 2-miler or a 1-miler. So I think Chris has got him pretty well sorted now. Unlucky in the not really unlucky in the Australian Cup. I've probably just beaten by a better horse on the day. And then Chris has organised a plan that we can bring him to Queensland and try to do the treble. I think the Hollindale, the Doomben Cup, and maybe the Q22. So it's all up to Chris now.
You talk about the Australian Cup. He was sensationally backed for a feature Group 1 race, and it doesn't sound like a lot of in a full point, but for an Australian Cup, he was 360 and a 250 in the last 10 minutes of betting. He was heavily crunched, and at the 300-metre mark, he ambled up on the outside, and you must have thought the ownership group, even Chris, must have thought, well, he's going to go on and win it. But that taxing 2,000 metres prior to Jenny breaking their hearts, and she dead set looked gone at the turn as well when Birdman moved up. Somehow she found another gear to go to again, but they're just brutal races when she's involved, aren't they?
Oh, exactly. I mean, that nobody gave her much of a chance, and then she was within a nose of knocking them all over.
Yep.
I mean, and he was touted as the new kid on the block, Birdman, and he disappointed on the day. We're still scratching our head as to why, whether he's not really that distance, or he's not as strong there, or the track was a little bit wet. We've gone back to the drawing board, but I think bringing him to Queensland and showing him a bit of good Gold Coast weather will bring out the best in him.
Now, there is a small possibility she is in the race here in Saturday week's time. Do you want her there, or do you not want her there?
Mate, you've got to beat them all. I mean, there's a pretty good lineup coming. I mean, it's probably one of the best Hollindale fields that we've seen for many years, and it's great that they're bringing these horses up, and the best horse wins on the day. That's just how it is.
And there's also Silken Salute, who heads to the Ken Russell Memorial Classic on the day as well, coming off 2 wins from 2 starts, unbeaten. How do you like that chance?
Yeah, no, he's been a surprise packet. We purchased him at the Magic Million sale out of the Cambridge stud draft, and Sir Brendan and Lady Jo Lindsay are the principals there, and he was a bit of an ugly duckling, and nobody really wanted him, and had a chat with Sir Brendan and said, if we were to buy him, would you stay in the ownership? And so we did. He was very cheap. I think it was a $60,000 purchase. Gave him to Paul Shaler, and he's just done a treat with him, and he's done everything he could have asked, and had a couple of setbacks along the way, got over those, and then won his first 2 starts. Paul's taken him out to his farm for the last 10 days, just to freshen him up, to bring him back, especially for that race, with the hopes of going on to the Size Produce and maybe the JJ Atkins. So this race will be a good measuring stick to see where we are, and if we're, going the right direction, or we've got to step back a peg.
Strong, the 2-year-old races in Queensland during the Winter Carnival can often springboard you to fame. If you can win a Ken Russell, a Size, a JJ, 1 out of the 3 even, you set yourself up for, whether it be a Coolmore or a Caulfield Guineas or, any of the feature races during the spring, etc.
You're getting a bit ahead of yourself.
One step at a time. One step at a time.
Ken Russell, and then we can have that conversation. But it just goes back 12 months with I'm great mates with Max Whitby.
Yep.
And Cool Archie, couldn't have been a better story, to be honest. I mean, he was no superstar when he first started racing, and he just went from level to level to level, and unfortunately broke down, in part of his racing. But he won all the features for 2-year-olds up here last year, and was about to be springboarded into a Southern campaign, and it's a shame of that. But we just don't know how far this bloke will go, and I've got my fingers crossed that he'll be another Cool Archie.
I reckon he could have won a Cox Plate, Cool Archie. There's my... we'll never know, but I think the way that he won the mile race as a 2-year-old, I think 2,000 wouldn't have been an issue for him. I do have to ask you while you're here, the reason behind the name, the Fruitologist. It's been going around at the trials of late at the Gold Coast and Bow Desert.
Yeah, the name comes from, we race in partnership with Darren Frame, who owns the Ferry Road Markets.
Oh, yep.
And we've been great mates for years at the fruit markets, where I spent a lot of my life. And I've always wanted to call a horse a fruitologist. It didn't take Darren much convincing, because I think we had a pretty big share. And I said, "What do you think of that?" And he just nodded, and no one else was rushing to get it. So we ended up with it. So hopefully he does us proud.
Do you miss the fruit market days?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, the trading and all that's a big part. I still have an involvement with it, but we do miss the not so much the early rises, the 3 o'clocks and weekends and 7 days a week, but it's pretty hard to knock back living on the coast now. So
And Peter, before you go, we obviously can't let you go without talking about Winx. How is she doing?
Just fresh got a video about 2 days ago. She's in the paddock. She's dabbled up like she's going to the Cox Plate. She looks fantastic. I can't believe how good she looks, and neither can the team at Coolmore. She just continues to look like a 5-year-old mare, but she's, I think she's 15 this year. She's rising, but she's happy. She's pregnant. She's in foal to Too Darn Hot, and we're really excited because she got in foal early this year, and she hasn't been the easiest girl to get pregnant at times, and we haven't forced her, and we've taken our time. So, looking forward to later this year with another grandchild for all of us owners.
Of course, there was news sort of recently that the first name progeny didn't make the trek. They opted to retire her, but the broodmare value of her going forward is astronomical.
Absolutely, no. You've got to feel for Debbie and the family. She put her heart and soul into that little thing.
That was the $10 million one?
$10 million one, and, to see it not make it to the track, must be very discouraging for them. But at least she's still around and healthy and happy, and will make a great broodmare.
Yeah, she's got a daughter of Winx. So
exactly.
we talk about how much she was worth alone, that particular filly, but going forward she could be worth triple that. So it's crazy money when you get up to that sort of territory.
Absolutely.
I'm about to buy one for $600 in English. That's about the level that we're on. But anyway, thanks for your time, Peter. Good luck Saturday week. Of course, Birdman and Silk and Salute in a couple of the features. Hopefully there's a winner out of one of those two on the big day.
Thanks very much for having me.
Peter Tighe joining us on In the Box Seat. Good of Pete to join us there. He's going to have a live shot at 2 feature races on tab, Hollindale Stakes Day. Speaking of the race, news coming through in the last sort of 24, 48 hours, Antino has been retired.
Absolutely.
Of course, a brilliant winner of the race last year before going on to win the Doomben Cup. He had a terrific career. There was thoughts that he was right on track after he's running the Brisbane Handicap last Saturday when he ran 4th with a big weight, but unfortunately he didn't pull up great, and they've made the decision to retire him. So a terrific horse for Tony Gollan and the connections there. And yeah, it was quite a remarkable win in the Hollindale last year. So no Antino, but still building as a terrific race. Half Yours has been heavily backed. He's now $2.50 to win the race, and I don't think they can keep putting the money on Half Yours at the moment. He might even start even money the way that the market is trending towards the race next week.
You heard it from Peter Tighe. I think he said it's one of the best shaped Tab 80 Hollindale Stakes race he's seen. So if he's saying it, you know it's true.
Still a few more pieces of the puzzle to unfold in the next week or so. Of course, next week we'll have the field all in front of us, and we'll know who's here and who's not. Some interesting things might pop up over the next 7 days. Racing here Saturday. We're on the Poly.
We are on the Poly, but it'll be a great day out. Obviously, the weather looks...
Not a bad week for it, actually.
Yeah, the weather was probably not on our side, but actually the sun is shining behind us, so we're hoping for some beautiful weather. There are still tickets into the restaurants, so if you want to get on track this weekend, come along to the restaurants, obviously general admission as well. Get on out. It'll be a great day's racing here at the Turf Club. Yeah,
terrific racing interstate, SA Derby Day, and the big standalone meeting at Hawkesbury to coincide with the Gold Coast, a winner.
I'm going to back the Alan Chow stable this week. I found...
Going well.
Oh, I don't want to pronounce this wrong.
Amason.
I'm going to go Amason. It did run not too badly 2 starts ago, and they've dropped back to that class, so I think it could have found the race for it.
Loves the Poly.
62
2000 Watermelon showed a glimpse of form last time around. Loves the Poly. Just might be back in form now after a couple of off runs, but that last run on the turf was good. So Watermelon in the benchmark 62 2000 for me. That's a wrap. Big show next week.
Absolutely.
Big preview of Tab 80 Hollindale Day.
We'll have all the tips. We'll have Joycey here to let us know. We might even have some surprise guest tips as well. So looking forward to that. There'll be plenty on the show previewing the Tab 80 Hollindale Stakes Day.
Excellent. Tune in next week to the big preview of Tab 80 Hollindale Stakes Day on In the Box Seat.